Hey, this is Ryan from Rocket SaaS, and you're listening to the SaaS Marketing Weekly podcast, the show that gives you actionable marketing strategies and campaign ideas to rocket your SaaS business. And if you want even more SaaS marketing ideas, go to saasmarketingweekly.com to join my free newsletter. Welcome to SaaS Marketing Weekly with me, your host Ryan, the founder of Rocket SaaS. And in this week's episode, we are going to be talking about meta ads. Do meta ads work for B2B SaaS brands? I hear so many people that I meet for the first time and they say, no, not doing meta ads at all. That's a B2C platform. We're a B2B business. I want to be putting all of my ad budget into LinkedIn. And they're very dismissive, which is wrong. You shouldn't be dismissive of such a big and powerful ad platform. You should at least be giving it a try. And also, my opinion is that you should definitely be doing retargeting ads on Meta, no matter what type of B2B brand that you are. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Meta ads, why I think you should be using it for B2B SaaS, some examples of some really good and effective ads that I've seen work for B2B SaaS brands. And also we're going to be comparing it to LinkedIn just to see how much does that cost differ. So first, I want to talk about why I think that it's the wrong attitude to say that Meta is only for B2C. It's not for B2B buyers. One of the reasons is the change that we've had since COVID, since the work from home boom. So previously, when you were going to the office 5 days a week, you weren't spending much time browsing through your Instagram or your Facebook when you should be working. You would mostly be doing that on your lunch break. If your boss is looking over your shoulder, you're not going to be browsing on Facebook and Instagram. Now that pretty much everybody's working from home, there is a huge uptick in the usage of Facebook and Instagram during working hours. Facebook have actually released this data, which is really, really interesting. You're seeing a big spike in users that are using it between the hours of 9 to 6 when they didn't used to be doing that before the work from home boom. So there's a lot of people that are lying on the couch. They definitely should be working and they're actually scrolling through their socials, meaning that they kind of still are in a business mindset. They probably feel a little bit guilty because they probably shouldn't be, but they are in that business mindset. So if they see your ad, they'll think, oh yeah, that kind of counts. If I am kind of technically doing some work, if I'm going to click on that ad. So that's a really interesting piece of data since the COVID work from home revolution. Another interesting thing to be really aware of is that your target audience are most likely spending a lot more time on Facebook and Instagram than they are on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has an incredibly high percentage of inactive users. Lots of people in business register a LinkedIn account because they kind of feel that they have to, or sometimes their company forces them to, but then they never actually log in because they find it boring, they find the information not interesting, or they just don't have the time. But they are spending a ton of time, particularly on Instagram if they're the younger audience, or Facebook if they're slightly older. And in terms of people saying things like, oh, Meta is a B2C platform, people are not in the business mindset, they're not going to see an ad and click on it because that's not where their head is at. I totally disagree with that, because you as a SaaS marketing manager or founder, your job is to help people solve their problems. So imagine if you were targeting HR managers, and imagine if you were a HR manager and you've got this massive issue at the moment with employee churn. Your employee churn is going up year on year. You are under big pressure from your CEO to solve this problem. Your job is on the line. This is a burning problem that you've got that is keeping you up at night. If that person was browsing their Instagram at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night and they see an ad saying, hey, here's a webinar coming up which teaches you how to reduce employee churn in your industry, you're not going to see that ad and go, oh, well, you know, it's 7 p.m., 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night. I'm sat on the couch. I'm also kind of watching TV. So no, I'm going to scroll past that. No, you're going to see that and go, oh, yes, that's a burning problem that I've got. It's keeping me up all night. I'm going to press that. So I think that makes sense. I think that's pretty logical. So therefore, you shouldn't be so dismissive about these types of ads if you can really solve a problem for your target audience. Now let's talk about the cost comparison between Meta ads and LinkedIn. I found Meta ads to be roughly 50% cheaper than LinkedIn ads. I actually struggle to meet businesses that say to me that they're getting a return on investment on LinkedIn ads and they're super, super happy with it. What I'm finding at the moment, I'm recording this podcast episode on, June 2024. I think the LinkedIn ads platform needs to be fixed because I do think it is a problem that should be fixed in terms of the cost. It is just so high, the cost per click. So many people are unhappy with it. So many people are not getting a return on investment. Even the people that are doing retargeting ads in the right way, there's not many businesses that are doing well for this. I think LinkedIn is going to make a lot more money if they reduce the cost per click and actually enable people to start getting better results, meaning they're going to pump more money into it. For some reason, LinkedIn really are making it expensive for everybody. As opposed to Meta, where it is roughly around 50% cheaper in my experience. So if you have got a small budget, you're much better off putting it into Meta, because if you've only got a small budget of like a few $100 per month, for example, or even $1,000 per month is not a huge budget for LinkedIn ads, it's very likely that you're going to put that budget into that campaign and you're going to run out of money very quickly without getting any results. So Meta ads, I think particularly for startups that are trying out things, trying out campaigns, trying out products, trying out features, I think Meta ads is a better way, to a more cost-effective way to be getting results that you can then tinker to create better campaigns, because LinkedIn ads can just really rinse your budget super quick and you haven't really learned much. A great thing about the low cost of Meta ads is that you can use it to do A/B testing. I see a lot of people doing A/B testing on landing pages. So let's say you want to test out which graphics, which headlines, which calls to action is going to get the most conversions on my landing page. So they'll build 2 different landing pages, different messages, different images, different calls to action, and they'll A/B test. However, the issue with A/B testing on landing pages is you need a really high volume of traffic, and particularly a high volume of people that convert in order to do an accurate A/B test. A lot of SaaS startups don't get these high volumes. You're going to get a trickle. So it might take months before you've got any decent data. So what I do is I do my A/B testing on Meta ads. So what I would do is I would create, let's say, 5 different ads on Meta. Each ad would have a different headline, because I'm testing out which headline is going to get the most clicks. Because if the headline that gets the most clicks on the ads is most likely to get the most conversions on the landing page. So let's say you keep 5 ads, 5 different messages, put a small budget into that campaign, let's say $100, and then overnight, you'll start to see which ad is getting the highest click-through rate. So all you have to do is filter your ads or sort your ads by the highest click-through rate, and you will know that that ad with that message is the best. So then you would take that headline and you would put it onto your landing page, knowing that that headline is very likely to perform better than all of the other ones that you've written. So what I'm saying is that the low cost of Meta ads allows you to do these really interesting testing things. I wouldn't run that kind of test on LinkedIn because it's just too expensive to run those kinds of tests. So let's now talk about retargeting. At the start of this episode, I shouted about the importance of retargeting ads, and it's particularly effective on Meta. So if you don't know what retargeting ads are, retargeting is when you go onto someone's website and then you come onto your socials afterwards and then you start seeing an ad for that business, so it can cleverly track you. So that is critical. I think every business should be installing the Meta Pixel and then retargeting to people across Facebook and Instagram. You want to be following them around the web. You want them to see you on all of the platforms, wherever they are, so that they've just got that brand awareness coming again and again and again. Try to mix up your messages. You don't want to be just spamming people with the same message over and over again, because then they'll start to kind of gloss over your ads. But if you're constantly creating new ads, you can always be retargeting to those people. So retargeting, I think, is a must for Meta ads. I can understand why a lot of people think that ads to a cold audience on Meta doesn't work. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't for B2B brands, but you should always be doing retargeting, and you should always be trying to do messages to a cold audience. And what I would say is, when you're doing cold audience advertising on Meta, you shouldn't just be going straight for the kill. I say this about any ad platform, but you shouldn't just be showing ads to the bottom of the funnel. If you're creating ads to a cold audience that's never heard of your brand before, and it just says, oh, we're a great XYZ platform, book a demo today, it's just not going to work. The way that Meta ads does work is when you start pointing ads to the top of the funnel. So you create educational content, you create videos, you create a podcast like this, you create a webinar, you create some kind of an ebook or a white paper, or maybe a free assessment or a scorecard, or maybe even a blog article. Anything that's going to help your audience solve that problem. Remember that example that I gave of the HR manager sat on the couch trying to solve a problem? Those are the sorts of ads that people do like to engage with on Meta. You know, they're maybe not in the buying mode, so the bottom of the funnel ads don't necessarily work, but I've seen those top of the funnel ads work really, really well. So you may not get direct conversions from Meta, but you will get brand awareness happening. You'll get people coming onto your website. They can then be retargeted onto LinkedIn ads so that they see the bottom of the funnel ads on LinkedIn when they are more in a buyer's mode. And also you got to think about the whole demand generation side of marketing. You know, a lot of the leads that you're going to be getting from people, a lot of the sales that you're going to be making are really hard to attribute. You got that whole dark social thing you might be aware of, in terms of they've come to you when they're ready. They've been checking out your brand for months and months and months. They've been seeing your stuff on their LinkedIn, on their Facebook, on their Instagram. They've come to your website a bunch of times, but they've never actually engaged with anything. They've never filled out a form. They've never even hit the like button. They've never even commented. So you've got no idea who they are, but they've been secretly checking you out for ages. And when eventually they're ready to buy, they come to you, they fill out the form. And you think, oh, they must have come from SEO. Brilliant. It's like, no. They saw a Facebook ad 9 months ago. That's how they first found of you. And then they just kept seeing you again and again and again. So I would look at using meta ads for that brand awareness side of things, for that demand generation principle, which I'm a big, big believer in. So yeah, don't sleep on meta ads is my advice from this episode. So give it a go. If your CEO or your marketing manager or whoever has been totally dismissive about it, I would probably share this episode with them and I would give it a go. And because you may be surprised and also be very encouraged by the low cost compared to LinkedIn ads. But my advice would be retargeting and starting at the top of the funnel rather than straight into the bottom. So good luck. I'd love to know how you get on. And if you want more advice for your SaaS brand, I give away free marketing tips, strategies, and insights in my newsletter every Thursday, saasmarketingweekly.com. Hope to see you there.